Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I'm your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Sagittarius in the month of March 2019. Hi, Sag. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well, guys. That was kind of redundant. Sorry. Yeah. How's everything? Good? Good. Alright, guys. Shuffled off camera. That's your main spread there. We're going to shuffle now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up, that's when the reading begins. You can look down in the description box if you want to see the timestamp I put there. If you want to jump ahead to the beginning of the reading, that's totally okay by me. Also down there's the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. Just follow the steps and we will set something up, okay? Anything else? No, it's pretty good. Happy spring. I'm so looking forward to being out of winter. So I don't know about you, but that's just me. Anyway, let's go ahead and get your outcome and your overall, okay? Outcome for Sagittarius in March 2019, please show me. Outcome for Sagittarius in March. Wow. I'm gonna have to pick this one. I'm gonna pick this one. Oh, there? Yes, thank you. Okay, that's good. Bottom of the deck is the overall. And there you go. Oh no, my table's all dirty. Should wipe that off. My bad. Alright guys, let's see what's going on here. Please show me Sagittarius in March 2019. Please show me where Sagittarius is in March 2019. Please show me. Okay, thank you. Right there. All right, Sag, coming into March, you come in with the Eight of Cups. So you guys, I mean, not really though. I don't feel this is like as sad as it could be. Often we see the Eight of Cups as being sort of like this journeying, a card of journeying, this card of wanting and desire and having sort of like this deep ache or this deep like void that you have to fill, especially since we're talking about cups, of course, in an emotional aspect. And that might be true for many of you. There might be some longing going on. There might be some sort of a dissonance going on in you emotionally, where you have attained something or you do have a certain foundation in terms of how you feel, you know, your love life, your personal contentment with your job, feeling fulfilled with other relationships in your life, whatever. And some of you might just be feeling pretty good with it. But I think many of you are feeling like there is something missing. And some of you are not able to put your finger on it. Others of you, you're like, I know exactly what's missing. I've been missing it for a long time. I've been missing a person for a long time, or a certain dynamic in a relationship for a long time. And so regardless of your situation, you are just looking for what is going to fill that void, what is going to bring you that contentment, bring you that happiness, bring you that fulfillment, what's going to be an addition to your life as opposed to being a detraction from your life. And that's very important for you, Sag, because I think I get the sense that you want to build towards something, and, you know, not in sort of a straight, not in such a rhythmic or prescribed manner do you want to build towards something. You want to see something grow. You want to see something flourish, whether that's you, yourself, or an aspect of your life, or a relationship in your life, whatever it is. And you want to see it grow, but you don't actually have a game plan on how to make it grow, or you don't actually have necessarily a clear vision. So maybe that's what some of you are looking for with this Eight of Cups, is actually having a clear vision of what your fulfillment will look like, what it means to be content. What do all of those things being in place actually look like for me? That might be a question for some of you. But regardless of what your situation is, I feel a deep need for it to come about soon, because this energy has sat with you for a while. This dissonance, this feeling, you're present, and that's what I'm feeling. Like, you're present in the moment. You're out to lunch with friends, or you're out to dinner with family. You show up to work every day. You come home, you feed the cats, you tuck your kids into bed, and you're doing all of the things that Sagittarius is known to do. Not as a sign, but you yourself as an individual, you're known to do. You're fulfilling your duties, you're fulfilling your obligations, you're acting quote unquote normal. But I feel there is always a part of you, like a ghost or like a phantom or something, that is always out there somewhere looking for this, on this journey, trying to, hunt down the clues or find, the lost city of Atlantis is kind of what it feels like. There's like a very deep adventure or journey that a part of you is on, that is always out there, floating through the world, so to speak, and I hope that makes sense to you. I hope the imagery makes sense to you. It's like, or if you want to think of it in more practical terms, let's say you're 80, like some of you, the most that you're ever present in any given moment, in any given situation, is like 80%. 20% of you is always dedicated to this. Where's my happiness? Where's my contentment? Where's my joy? Where is the missing object or the missing person or the missing facet of my life that's going to really fill out the cups that I desire? Because, that's what the Eight of Cups is about. I already have something. I already have some part of my collection, but my collection is not complete. So, and you've been feeling that way for a while. That's why I'm like, at most, you're committed to like 80% of what goes on in your day-to-day life. There's always a part of you that's just like, this is nice, but where's the rest? And Sagittarius, you kind of have that sort of as one of the archetypes, or one of the stereotypes, if you prefer. Well, nobody prefers a stereotype, but an archetype or stereotype, you can think of it however you'd like, of your personality, of your sign, is that you're kind of this rolling stone character. You struggle to be committed. You struggle to stay in one place for a long period of time. You struggle to put down roots. And I shouldn't say struggle. It's just more, that's not your bag. It's not really what you're known for. You're more known to be an explorer. You're more known to be someone who journeys off and, and gets into new adventures and gets into new experiences and builds their world knowledge because, okay, well, I summered in Cambodia, so I learned this about the culture. Or, when I was volunteering down at the homeless shelter, this is what I found out about this epidemic in our city. And it's just like, you don't want to learn these things so that you can become a know-it-all in conversations. You don't want to, gain this knowledge so you can like win at Jeopardy or anything like that. You really feel better. You feel more yourself when you have less restriction on you. That's why I was saying struggle to commit, struggle to settle down, in quotes, yeah? So I think that's where we're but I think that sort of is what's rubbing you the wrong way here, is like, society is telling you, your friends are telling you, your family's telling you, you're telling yourself, whatever, I should be more this way, or I should have more of this, or I should be settled in this type of way by now. So that might be a conversation or certain inner dialogue that some of you are having. Okay, well, I'm 25, I should have this by now. Or, you're talking to your parents and they're like, well, you've been out of school for a while, maybe you should think about doing this. And you're like, oh, I don't really want to think about doing that. Because is that really what's going to make you happy? If we're talking about commitments, if we're talking about, quote unquote, the normal way of life's progression in the Western world, you grow up, you go to school, you get married, you have kids, you get a job and do all that kind of stuff, and then you die. Like, essentially, that's the very, very, very condensed version of westernized life. Yeah. And some of you are just like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I want to commit to that idea. It might not be for me. And that's not for everybody, because some Sagittariuses or you're looking at this and you're listening to this and you're like, that's not me. I can't wait to get married. I can't wait to have a job for 40 years of my life. You know, some of you anticipate that. So don't take it to be so literal as no Sagittarius ever wants to settle down and get married. No Sagittarius will ever have one solid job in their life or a job that they're committed to or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. It's just something in you is always looking for more, to expand on something, to keep learning something, to keep vibrancy in your life. And so if you do get into a certain routine, while again, that routine, I'm sorry to go on about this, but they want me to really explain this Eight of Cups because it's different for everybody. And I shouldn't say that. It's not even different for everybody. It's very nuanced for you, Sagittarius. So again, you show up 80% of the time and you do what you're supposed to do. If you're a construction worker, it's not that you're 80% interested. How can I say this? You still do what you have to do and you do it well. I don't care what walk of life you're in. I don't care what area of your life we're talking about. Marriage, job, personal finances, whatever this is. You show up and you do what you're supposed to do. But there's a portion of you that is like, but isn't there more, or isn't there something else that we should be paying attention to? You know, Sagittarius, you like to have a lot of irons in the fire. You know, and so that's what I'm getting. Is like, even if you have a lot, even if you love what you have and love the people that are around you and you are committed to them and you're dedicated and devoted and all that kind of stuff, you still are, there's always, for most of you, there's always something missing. And that's sort of your cross to bear as a Sagittarian, is that what is satisfactory? What does it mean to be satisfied to a Sagittarius? I personally don't know, because I'm not one. I know a few, and I think you have periods where you're like, this works, and then eventually you're like, but maybe I want something else now. And I think that you've struggled, Sagittarius, and this is where we're going to transition into the rest of the reading, is that what the next bit of satisfying, or what that next piece of satisfaction is to you, you can't identify it. That's where this Eight of Cups is coming in. And that's where I think I had to spend such a long time talking about it. It was because this has been going on for a long time. Normally, you get a new hobby, you meet a new friend, you take a vacation, or some of you, you know, like I said, you volunteer at a place, and then you feel good, and then you move on to the next thing, because you've satisfied that part of yourself that always wants something new, always wants to be intrigued, or satisfy your curiosities. Yeah. Now you've done that recently, or you haven't done it in a while, and you're not even sure what that next thing is. I volunteered last summer. Do I want to volunteer again? No. Do I want to travel? Nah, I need to save money. So some of you are kicking around ideas, and just the thought of the ideas or pursuing the potential of an idea isn't exciting to you. So you end up being here, or you were here, or you're still here. Eight of Swords, stuck. So some of you are stuck in a situation because you yourself can't really find your rhythm, can't figure out the ways in which that you're going to go about seeking what's new and exciting and interesting to you. And others of you have gotten into your routine so much, and you kind of have taken a back seat in your own life, that I think I mentioned it earlier. Some of you are listening to the advice of other people. You know, you keep, vacationing, and you keep taking these trips. Why don't you save some of your money? You're like, oh, okay, I guess I'll save money now for the next couple of years, because my dad or whoever said I should stop traveling over the summer and I should save up for a rainy day, or, start saving up money so I can put down, money for a new house or something like that. And whether it's your own accord or someone else's influence, you are now kind of adhering to or entertaining the idea of adhering to certain stipulations. And I'm not sure, I wouldn't say don't do it, but I think it's really blinded you, right? Because in the Eight of Swords, we see that, right? This character has a blindfold on and is bound and is restricted, right? So I think to a certain degree, Sagittarius, what I know about Sagittarius is there always has to be an element of freedom in your life. And when you don't have it, whether you put yourself in a box or other people put you in a box, you become very upset. Like, I shouldn't say upset because you're not angry. Like, the closest thing I feel is like a caged bird. You're still a bird. You still can flap your wings a little bit inside that cage, moving from perch to perch, but you're not free the way a bird wants to be free. So a lot of Sagittariuses want to bust out of that cage in their life and flee the coop, fly out of the cage, fly out of the house and out into the world. Others will be satisfied with, because I don't know many people who have owned birds in their life, but in my lifetime I've seen a few. And sometimes, you know, there's a cage in the house, but you open the door to the cage and you allow the bird to fly around the house. It's still confined, but it's much more free than if it had been in the cage. So I think many of you are looking to get out of the cage and just like fly around the house, maybe fly around the neighborhood, but not actually explore the entire world. Others of you are like, get me out of this cage, get me out of this house, for God's sake, get me off of the planet Earth. Some of you really, really want to go exploring. But you're restricted mentally with the Eight of Swords there. Mentally, you're restricted. Your ideas are restricted. You're not feeling as creative. You're not feeling as vibrant. Some of you might struggle in conversations to feel as witty or as entertaining or engaged in conversations. Your words might be taken out of context. You might not even speak. I mean, her mouth isn't covered, but there is, again, like this downtrodden, held back feeling. So some of you might not be as talkative as you normally are. And I think only a few people are even clued into that detail, or clued into to me it would be noticeable because I notice everything. But to others, it might not even be noticeable. They might just think, oh, Sagittarius, maybe it's just, having a case of the Mondays, no big deal. But truly, something in you has changed over the past, I'd say, few months, maybe even years for some of you, where, if normally you operate on a level 8 or a level 9, whatever that means to you, you would be functioning at like a 6.5, a 7. Okay? It's a small change, but it's noticeable enough to certain people. Now, yeah, I think that's what they're doing. They're showing me the symmetry there. So, and that's the thing. I think I mentioned it up here, 8 and 8, and then half of, okay, whatever. I'm not going to do math. They are 8 and 8 and then half. I'm like, okay, 8 and 8 and then half. Maybe that'll come back. Because you have 2 8s here, and then you have this 4 of Pentacles down below. And this is sectioned off. This is a nice little corner. This is a separate corner. We're going to talk about that in a second. So, your 4 of Pentacles right beneath your 8 of Swords. I think I mentioned it while I was holding the 8 of Cups, but I think it was in the grand context of what's going on with you. Many of you have enough. You have substance in your life, whether that's material things or money, because this is Pentacles, or whether it's fulfillment, or whether that's feeling like, I'm stable, I'm secure. A lot of you have it. A lot of you have safety nets that you're able to rely on, or you might not, or some of you have jobs that are great paying, wonderful benefits, but it's not emotionally satisfying. Or you have this emotional satisfaction from the job, but financially you could use a few more dollars in that paycheck, or a couple $100 more. You know what I mean? But whatever it is, you have been encouraged, whether it's from from your own perspective, from yourself, or from others, you have been encouraged to accept this, ride along with this energy for a while. Many of you, I think, well, not even many. It's like almost half and half. Almost is what they're telling me. Almost. Is that it? 8 and 8 and then half. So maybe half of you have done this sort of clutching onto what you have because of a protective sensibility that you have. Like, okay, well, I should just be happy with what I have. Like, you're kind of convincing yourself this is good enough. And the other half of you are being convinced by other people. Yeah? And, yes. And I think I mentioned that, right? Yeah, I did. I think I was here, or I don't know. I mentioned it earlier, I'm pretty sure. But in this card, right, you see those buildings behind him in the background there across the hills, right? I think I mentioned something about society and the rules and the expectations of what you're supposed to do. So, Sag, many of you are having trouble reconciling what you want for yourself, which again is heavily rooted in some type of independence, some type of freedom, and what society wants from you, or your family wants from you, what you're supposed to do when you're at this stage in your life, whether you're 18, 24, 56, 82, I don't care. There's this feeling of, I have to do it this way because it's what everybody else is doing. And that never sits right with a Sagittarius. Never. Never, 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 never. Like, you can do it to be a get-along gang type person. Like, okay, fine, I'll do this because this is what's expected in the moment. You will do it in the moment. But the true core of you, Sagittarius, is like, these rules, man. Why? Whose rules are these? These expectations, whose are these? Like, you don't like it, you know? But I feel you have kind of subscribed to it, and you've been playing along. But your progress, your ascension, your accomplishments have sort of hit a cap, hit a wall. Maybe you have hit the brink at your job. I've worked here for this long. I've accomplished everything I want to accomplish. I want to leave. In a relationship, this is great. I love you, but we need to do something else. So maybe we need to move. And it doesn't mean like in the relationship specifically you want to break up or they want to break up. Not necessarily, but for some of you maybe. But sometimes it's just, you need a change. That's what this is. You just need a change. A change to your circumstances, a change to your luck, a change to your perspective. A change is needed here. And you're dreaming of it. Right? Wow, some of you are like turned away from it. Like, part of you is hopeful, and maybe that's it. You know, oh my God, I can't think of anything that's similar to it. So remember the 80-20 I talked about. 80-20, right? 80% of you is here doing the day-to-day, living your life, doing what you're supposed to do. That 20% of you that's elsewhere, that's a phantom ghost out in the world exploring, you know, you're up at, like, you know, you're Googling things before you go to bed. Like, I don't know. Whatever section or part of you that's away, that's trying to find what you're missing in that 8 of Cups, part of you is hopeful that 20% is going to come back with the answer, the thing that you've been missing. And another part of you, the more conscious part of you, the more present part of you, that 80% is here in the 4 of Pentacles, and it's kind of turned away from what you really want. So you got to see it like 2 ways. And I don't normally hold up 3 cards, but I'm going to do it just to give you the visual, yeah? So you've got the 4 cups, or excuse me, the 4 pentacles being that 80% of yourself. That's like, this is fine. We'll just work with this. This is everything we need right now. It's cool. It's cool. We're gonna adhere to these rules. We're gonna follow suit. We're gonna fall in line. Perfect. And then you've got the 20% of you, which is that 8 of Cups card that's out there. Your mind, your psyche, your subconscious. You know, maybe 20% of your time in your day you're spent online Googling stuff, trying to find something to get into. I don't know. But that's that 20% that's on the journey. And in between is what you want, what you're hoping that 20% will get in contact with, will bring into your life. And the Four of Pentacles is like, it's fine. Like, we don't really need that, and you're vexed. Well, I don't know about vexed. Let's calm down with that. Maybe you're not vexed, but you're polarized. You're pulled between two worlds. You're pulled between two ways of thinking about it, two ways of feeling about it, and you kind of oscillate between them. You kind of go back and forth, volleyballing back and forth, yeah? So what is it that you want? It's that, oh God, thank you. Even though that's not what they were talking about before, but the math part is there. So the Two of Cups, right? Coming right below that, Eight of Cups. 2 plus 8 is 10. And if you know anything about tarot, 10 is that culmination point. 10 is like the highest level before we start all over in the minor arcanas, yeah? And that 10, in terms of cups, is that happily ever after card. Is that card of bliss, joy, just amazing, amazing, heart-swelling, just contentment, yeah? And that's what I said was missing when we started this. In that Eight of Cups, that's what's been missing. That really luscious, full sense of, oh my God, I'm finally happy. Or, oh my God, I can be at peace with this part of my life. Or I feel so joyful in this other part of my life. So 8 plus 2 would give you the 10. So you need this Two of Cups. Now, in the other traditional interpretations of the Two of Cups, we would be talking about a soulmate connection for some of you. So some of you, you've been single for a while, or you're missing that special person in your business life, as far as someone who can create with you, who can, balance the books because you don't have a head for math, like I wouldn't have a head for math, something like that. But you're wanting your ultimate partner, romantically, friendship, maybe even in your family. Some of you might feel like, a black sheep in your family, and then, you go to Ancestry.com and you find out you have a long lost cousin, and boom, that's your soulmate. I don't know. That's like a really ridiculous idea. But my point is, a Two of Cups soulmate card or soulmate interpretation does not have to equal romance. Not all the time, okay? And sometimes it's not a specific person, but it's a dynamic within a relationship. It's an aspect between what already exists between you or what doesn't already exist between you and another person. So you could have met the love of your life. You've been married for 50 years or something like that. Or you've been married for 2 years. I don't care. But this person is the love of your life. But somehow recently things have gone adrift. And you want to get back to that connection with this person. You don't want to break up. Many of you don't. This is not a advertisement for breaking up right now. Many of you want to be with who you're with now. It's just things haven't been connecting. And maybe they're having a hand in this too. Maybe they're going through their own little funk and they're looking for their part of the 8 cups, something like that. And you might be mirroring each other in that way. But what I'm sensing is that you are either in need of a person who is this Two of Cups energy, who meets you in the middle, who reflects back to you the same amount of vigor and energy and excitement and creativity and emotional support that you would give to them. A partner, like a real partner. Yeah? A ride or die. And like I just said, for some of you, this person isn't in your life, or there isn't someone around you that you kind of get this sense from. And for others of you, you have had this before with a particular person, but it's gone away. I'm holding on to this for a second because I'm trying to see, like, for those who are like super antisocial, or you're not wanting for anything in your emotional relationships or your relationships at all, how could this come? Ah, okay. Because I'm like, I'm still here. Why are we holding on to this? That seemed pretty clear cut. Obviously the Happy deck depicts a lot of these figures as looking like children, but in particular, they are also saying for some of you, this is about childhood or about children. Yeah? So, I don't see it here, but here we go, obviously. Some of you might be expecting. Some of you might want to adopt in particular. But there's this idea of getting closer to or having a significant loving and nurturing relationship with a child or children. So for those who I was mentioning before, like the volunteer thing, maybe you want to volunteer at your church or your local school district or something like that. You don't want kids in your life per se, you know, it's not like I want to be a parent. Some of you do have an affinity for children or have an affinity for young minds and wanting to help cultivate and raise and influence wonderful people, you know, put in the work to make so that adults don't so that we get good adults in the future, but you don't actually want to be a parent yourself. So some of you may need to seek out these positions of mentorship and volunteering with children, or finding ways to embolden and empower young kids, maybe from like, you know, urban areas or disadvantaged rural areas. I don't care. So that's the other part of this. Okay, if it's not about your romance, if it's not about business partnerships, it can be you showing other people, particularly in this case children, how to explore the world, how to not live restrictedly. Yeah, something like that. So that's what's missing. That Two of Cups is super important to you. Now, will you get it? Can you? I don't know, because everybody's situation is specific. If you want to know about your situation, you get a personal reading. But I feel there's a progression is how I was going to say that. Really, progression. Yes, and look what we did. We started here. We're kind of making like a little. I wish you could see what I see or feel what I feel, because I work a lot with symmetry, geometric shapes or geometric patterns speak to me. They always have. Geometry was my best math subject, and I know most people hated geometry. But anyway, so here, we started here, right? And we're kind of doing a squarish circle out. And if you can imagine it sort of going off screen, this is a spiral, and it's blossoming outward. We went from this inward space, and now we're moving out. So we're moving on to the Page of Wands. Now, I just talked about kids, and I've mentioned this a few times in other readings if you've ever cross-watched for me or any of my videos. And I don't, but anyway, I don't really talk about kids. I don't resonate with children. I'm one of these, you know, crabapple types. Like, kids are fine if they're over there, like way over there. Like, it's just not in me to really, yeah, it's just, you know. So I don't really talk about kids a lot. And when the pages come up, I don't usually read them as children, but lately I've been reading them as children. So maybe that's the universe trying to tell me something. But anyway, so for those where I was just talking about kids, here's a Page of Wands. Here's a young little whippersnapper, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So for some of you, this could be a cousin, your own child, like I just said, someone that you become a mentor for, something like that. And they're very precocious. Let me tell you this right now. This person, this kid, or this energy, if it's not an actual person, is precocious energy. Is energy that is excited and looks forward to learning, looks forward to being able to express themselves or to show their knowledge. You know, this would be, you know, a kid, not specifically this way, but I view kids who like go on game shows or like Ellen or something like that, and they have like a little talent. It's like that. Like, this kid or this person or this energy would be really, really good at something very specific, is what I'm feeling. Not a genius, not a little Einstein or anything like that, but definitely precocious, very adventurous, very charming, maybe a little shy or slow to warm up. But there's this excitability in this person, because I know how to do this. And then now that I've understood how to, you know, maybe this is like a 5th grader and they're in like, you know, college level calculus or something. Now that I've done this, I now want to explore robotics. You know, like, this person matches, and that's it. This kid, this person, whatever this is, matches you. This is how you were when you were a kid, Sagittarius, or this is how you are when you become excited about things. I'm so excited about this. I want to master it. I want to learn all the things that I need to learn about it, and then I want to move on to the next thing. So this younger energy, for the most part, is like a young jack of all trades. You know, knows a little bit about everything and wants to know more. Thank you. They're showing me, for those who are old enough to know, they're showing me Johnny Five from the Short Circuit movies. Input, input, input. This person loves input. They love information. And that's also another thing about pages, is they're often considered, and I just cut my nails, and I shouldn't have done that. Pages are also considered to be students, you know, the students of the court cards, yeah? Page, knight, queen, king. You're the youngest energy, the most novice, the most green. So there is all this potentiality, and there's still so much to explore in the world. So them being right next door to that Two of Cups energy, it might sound weird, but I explained it before, and I'll explain it almost in every video. The Two of Cups, as far as a soulmate, does not mean romantic. So keep that in mind as I tell you, this child could be a soulmate of yours, Sagittarius, or the aspect of this person that is childlike. This could be someone who is your contemporary. This could be, you know, somebody who's in your age bracket, but their energy is young. They are vibrant. Like I said, they're excited about life, and they're wanting to learn new things and explore new things, yeah? So regardless of what type of person it shows up as, a child, a teenager, an elderly person, maybe some of you will volunteer with the elderly, whatever. The spirit of the person is young, and that spirit is connected to you on a soul level. It matches you, yeah? That's the important part. Now, getting together with this person, meeting them, creating a relationship with them, cultivating and spending time with them gives you what you need, which is also up here across from that Eight of Cups energy, the Six of Wands, yeah? Card of victory, card of accolation. But I'm feeling this is more of like you're able to come home with your head held high, whatever that means for some of you. So I'm getting for many of you Sagittarius this travel thing, or this movement thing. This idea of actually getting up and breaking your routine and going to do something else, creating new patterns in your life. So this could be every Tuesday you go down to the shelter, or you go down to the high school and you tutor, whatever. When you come home Tuesday night, or you wake up Wednesday morning or whatever, you wake up like this. I'm accomplishing something. I'm building something. I'm building a rapport with someone. I'm giving someone inspiration. I'm learning a lot from the children. As much as I'm teaching them or helping them with their grades, they're teaching me how to dab. Some of you don't even know what a dab is. Most Sagittarius, most people who are watching this, you know what a dab is. But for those who don't, you might be learning from a young person what the dab is. Who are the Migos? Cardi B who? You know, you're learning all that stuff. And and it's good, because this is what you are, well, this is not all that you're desiring, but I think there's an aspect of feeling prideful, feeling like you have something that others can look to and say, oh, look at what's that. It's not an ego thing. You don't want your ego stroked here, Sagittarius. Like, of the fire signs, you're probably the least egotistical, because never mind if I go say anything. But this is like an added bonus. This is like the cherry on top, or the whipped cream, yeah? It's like that added sweetness to what has been lacking in your life. It's amazing if and when you meet this person and you guys make that connection, yeah? Now, oh my God, you know, now I have a friend for life. I've got a partner for life. Or meeting this person gave me this opportunity. Whatever it is, this is like that. Yes, thank you. Like, you know, look at this. And I don't know what movies you've seen or TV shows you've seen, but when the knight comes home from battle, or the king, or whoever comes home from battle in like these old medieval movies, right? And the entire kingdom and townspeople, they come out of their homes, their little thatched roof homes, and they're cheering and all that stuff. And then they get to the gates of the palace, the gates of the castle. And the gates open, like those huge doors, just like that. That is what you're seeking. To walk through some door. Maybe some of you are literally wanting this. To walk through a door and to be applauded. Or to walk through a door and feel like, at peace with something. That hard stuff, that miserable stuff that we talked about earlier in the reading is done. I'm coming in here. I'm floating in here on a cloud. Everybody loves me. I'm happy that I've met the people I've met, and I've begun to have the rapport that I do with these people. And then you come home and you can relax and bask in the glory of what your journey has brought you to, you know? And again, there's like this spiral that I see. I wish I could draw it here for you, or I wish I could project to you what I see, but there's a spiral. And again, it grows outwardly and it blossoms, it expands. And that's all you're in this life for. Jupiter ruled Sagittarius. Expansion. It's what you desire more than anything. Okay? Now your outcome. Ha ha! I didn't even look at it. Your outcome for March. This is turned around. And maybe that's going to be the title of this reading, possibly. The big turnaround. Now, your outcome is the 9 of Cups. Hello. So you started with 8, and then by the end of the month, you end up with 9. Progression. Spiraling out. Growing. God, yes. Here we go. So, I think I mentioned to you, it's not here on the board, but I mentioned to you the 10 of Cups is the happily ever after card. The 9 of Cups is the wish come true card. Look at this kid. Look at all those tasty cups full of fruits and desserts and whatever else is supposed to be in these cups. I don't know what the hell it is. But spoon in hand, got that bib on. He's ready to munch down on all of the treats and the goodies that are in these cups. That's you. Indulgent. Or what's that called? Like the flavors of life, tasting the different flavors of life, something like that. So you are on your way out into the world. Maybe, again, I'm getting that travel thing for some of you. Maybe some of you are actually going abroad, going to a different city or a different state or a different country, whatever. Others of you are just breaking the monotony of your life. Like I said, every Tuesday, instead of going straight home from work or going to this, you're going to go down to the high school, you're going to go down to the elementary school, you're going to go over to the church, whatever you're going to do. There's this idea of getting out and tasting different flavors, getting different slices of the pie, you know? Maybe you live in a suburban area. Maybe you, for most of your life, been told, don't go over to that side of town. It's dangerous over there. They don't like us over there, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, you know what? In this day and age, in this political climate, in this whatever, I gotta break this mold. I gotta get out. I gotta try to connect with other people and da-da-da. So you go down to the other side of the tracks. You go down to the bad part of town and you say, I want to volunteer, or I want to get involved in this, or I want to create this project, or something like that. And you go. And what do you get? You get your 9 of Cups. You meet new people, you have great new experiences, you make great new friends, etc., etc. And you're tasting different flavors is how they keep showing me this. So again, if you're doing this on an international scale, you know, you're over here in the West, in the United States or Canada or wherever else, and you're like, listen, I'm going down to Tanzania, or I'm going down to, you know, over to Vietnam, whatever. And not to say like it's a charity thing. It doesn't always have to be a charity thing. Sometimes it is just about the experience of traveling and meeting people and, you know, going strict Airbnb, backpacking, whatever. It's a dream come true. And you're contented, finally. God. You might end up with more opportunities or more than you can actually take on, Sagittarius. So be wary of that, they're telling me, because, I mean, this kid looks happy that he has access to all those 9 cups. But if he were to literally eat all of the things that are in those cups, all those treats in those cups, he might end up with a stomachache. So be wary of how much you indulge in this new excitement in your life, in these new connections, in these new experiences. Be careful. Don't go overboard is what there is the caution here. But generally, it's good. It's very good for you as an outcome. Now your overall energy. Listen, I got to figure out, I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure out how to go live, because I don't know that people believe me. I think if you guys know, if you've been watching me for a while, I'm an honest lady. I don't pull punches around here. But when I'm reading, I'm looking out here. I'm not really looking at the board. I'm especially not looking over here. If I'm talking about these cards, I'm not over here. So I just now looked down, and I have been saying over and over again, I feel like travel for some reason, but I don't know why. It's this, the world card as your overall energy. Card of travel. The world, for God's sakes. Okay? So again, some of you are getting in a cab or an Uber, whatever, packing your bags, and you're flying somewhere. You're getting on a Greyhound bus. God forbid if you're hitchhiking, please be careful, but whatever. You're getting out the door and you're going somewhere new. And it doesn't have to be so grand as, you're traveling overseas. It can literally be Tuesday nights down at St. Paul's. That's it. So there's this newness, a new environment for you in some aspect, whether it's full-time, picking up and moving to a new company, moving to a new city, whatever, or circumstantial or weekly basis. Once a week I go here. I've never been there before, but here I go. Something like that. Now, the other aspect of this is the fixed sign energies, yeah? Is that what we... Yes, thank you. So, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So, one of those signs might be important to you. And the aspect that they want me to talk about that is, right now, there's a shakeup. And I was just reading about this today, and I was kind of meditating on it a little bit today. And I don't usually go into the astrology because I, for a long time, put those studies down, but I think I'm going to pick them back up. Fixed signs right now are going through it. This is an aside, but it's going to couple back, trust me. Fixed signs right now, what's the big thing? Uranus is in Taurus, and it's doing some business. And so fixed signs are having this great upheaval in their lives, this revolution and burst of energy, a lot of crackling, what is that? Lightning, electricity, yeah? A lot of vibrancy and sparks flying in fixed signs energy. So that's here with you, as that's part of your, as this is also attached to the world card. So either with fixed signs, you will find sparks of electricity, you will find your energy, or you will feed off of their energy perhaps, or that is just something you should consider, is that going from a fixed position, a rigid position, into one of action and dynamism, yeah? Revving up the motors. Something about that is here with you too, okay? So travel, changing from fixed to kind of dynamic energy. Anything else with the world card as your overall? And okay, thank you. And then completions, right? Completions. Coming to a conclusion about something. And I don't think it's necessarily the ending. I'm not sensing endings, although some of you may be ending certain things. Whatever it is, I don't know. But I'm getting completion, like a chapter completion. It's not the end of the book. It's not the end of the series. It's just the ending of the chapter. It's like the season finale. It's not the series finale. It's the season finale. Okay? So you might find yourself traveling and then staying put for a while, or your travels kind of end a certain chapter in your life, going down to the church, moving over to Malaysia, doing whatever you're doing, kind of ends one chapter and begins another for you, okay? That's the other part of that, all right? All right, Sagittarius, that has been your reading for March 2019. Did you like it? If you did, there is a like button down below. Go ahead and click it. That lets me know that you liked it, lets YouTube know you liked it, and everybody, is in the know. Also down there is the subscription button, or the subscribe button if you want to subscribe to my channel and you're not already. That would be amazing. You can share the video across your YouTube or any social media platform. You can use the share button down there. And also, of course, hit me up in the comment section. Let me know how this resonated for you, if it did at all. And yeah. And if you want a personal, again, that's down in the description box, okay? I will be back in about 3 weeks' time when I bring you your April 2019 readings. Until then, guys, I do look forward to doing that, but I also thank you so much for watching up until this point. Take care, guys. Bye.